Okay, here we go. We're going to review several Matisse paintings, and what I want to do is pick out a colorful cursor in a color that we don't see in the painting. Okay, this painting by Henri Matisse is makes more use of the division of light um, and and old school type of form, where you use tone and shadow, and yet you can tell that he's being a colorist at the same time. So, choice of black. Okay, look, I got 3 black things. 1, 2, 3. Even Rembrandt chose 3s. Didn't Rembrandt have a dot of ochre here, a dot of ochre here, and a dot of ochre here? He had a dot of lemon yellow here, a dot of lemon yellow here, and a dot of lemon yellow here. So Rembrandt had triads. They were non-equilateral triangles. This. Draw a straight line with my mouse. And this. So it's a non-equilateral triangle, which is asymmetric and odd numbers. So black, black, and black, which is not so new. So he has this bright azure. He has this intense cadmium red, which he does use throughout the painting. So it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here. So cadmium red throughout. So I'm just analyzing the color. This blue. Now I want to say it's a cobalt blue. Well, there's one way to prove what kind of blue it is. Let's see what. Yeah, that's a cobalt blue. So, all right, so he has his cad red, I believe it is, and he has his cobalt blue, and he has his black. Of course, skin tones are neutrals. So here are some yellow ochres. Here are some turquoise. Go back to my turquoise. Turquoise. Here's green. Yellow ochre. Okay, cobalt. Oops. Cobalt, yellow ochre, turquoise, maybe cadmium red. And this is an orange yellow. It relates to me to this yellow ochre, so it's pretty close, pretty tight. That sash is cool, huh? I like that. Brown, we're not going to count brown. Brown is a neutral. Skin tones are neutral, so I don't count those. So let's see. 1. His cobalt dress is 2. His yellows are 3. Turquoise, I guess we're going to count the turquoise as 4, even though it's minimal proportion. 4 is black. 5 is green. Let's say he has 5 colors. So he establishes a color organization, a color composition based on asymmetry. And I think that the one thing that is mitigating the fact that he uses a lot of tone for division of light, the one thing that makes this colorist work is the use of black and the overall red and the number 5. Okay, which one is this? Get rid of this one. Let's look at the yellow dress. Yummy. Love this painting. Well, I've never analyzed this painting before. Here's the black. Black here. Now, remember, the Impressionists were not allowed black. They self-established that. Now, this is a kind of a dark green here. We're not going to count that. This is a dark violet. We're not going to count that. The Impressionists decided that there was no black in sunlight. and so they ruled out black. Now we're a modernist, and so we're allowed black. You can't subvert black. It's impossible to subvert it. So lots of black down here. This black. These are not black. Obviously, we have the yellow. So let's see, black, yellow, vermilion, and the red is masked. So all of the red is masked in one area, see, if you will. It all touches, except you have these and you have this, but this is understood as a continuation from here. So you have these little spots of red up here. So we're allowed that. We're allowed to have little spots of red throughout, but he did mask his reds, you see? And that gives them more power. He masked his yellow. Now I know that there's a division of the yellow there, but your eye suggests yellow throughout. So he has masked his yellow. So massing of the red, which is vermilion, and the massing of the yellow. By the way, see, this is a blue phase red. This is a yellow phase red, so he has two kinds of red. Brown, we're not going to count brown. Skin tone, we're not going to count skin tone. White, of course, he uses white in such a way that it counts. And he uses black in such a way that it counts. So also, blue and green. All right, so I guess I'm not going to count the colors here. I just want to note how he has masked his colors and the power of that yellow all in the middle. Go back and get a nice view of this painting. Did I get rid of all of them? So here's a beautiful view of this painting. I note his use of gesture here. Okay, this tuck is a structural move, right? Use of gesture with the arms. The head is on a swivel. And so it looks naturalistic. So I appreciate that. That's a note from Rembrandt, huh? Oh, and so could a room set up this way? It looks as if he's hanging from a chandelier looking down on his model because of this acute perspectival angle. And where's the back corner? Is it here? We don't know. It would have been here perhaps if you follow this line. Now he doesn't really want to give it to you for real. It kind of doesn't matter to him where the back wall is because he's a modernist. And he also skews the clarity of where the back is. Now, of course, in a natural environment, you may have a rug that doesn't fit right, or it's set at an angle, although he's parallel here, isn't he? So this is parallel. This is not. So here's a cubist statement, is it not? Cubist confounds perspective, confounds angles. What does that do? It gives you an open view. You see more sides of the same thing. Very slight amount of cubism, great amount of colorism. Who's allowed to paint this much yellow? Really, just a colorist, huh? And doesn't black play off yellow rather well? Okay, that's what I want to say about that guy. This might be a long video. We'll see. Okay, I wish they would open. Yeah, I don't know why my Photoshop opens at whatever percentage it wishes, and it's random. This is not unlike our Aaron work, huh? This is actually the same skirt, or same type of skirt, because there were these dashes in black on the Henriette one. This is probably Henriette. But in the one that we did, there were dashes, but they were in black. Now they're in gold, which I think is fascinating. I think she's on Ash Wednesday. And so she has a head covering of some kind, and it's a cobalt. Violet. Okay, cobalt. Let's see. Let's choose what would be a good color to choose. There we go. So she has cobalt, violet. We're not going to count these browns. Okay. Red, green, black in the form of outlines. I wouldn't call black a color in this particular painting. I know there are black dashes here. Okay, golden yellow, which is throughout, right? And here, white. I don't think we're going to call white a color in this. And skin tone, we don't count skin tone. Which the chair, oh, fascinating. The chair is the same color as the flesh. So here you have a lot of brown. In fact, you have a lot of brown throughout. And he's a master of red brown, by the way. Although it's carmine here. Gives you a little variety. Look at that. Okay, guess what? I am going to count that as a color. So let's clean this up. I've never analyzed this one before. But do you notice how he masked the, what I call a neutral, a kind of a brown? It's a red ochre. Oh, I love the way he did that. Well, that could be keying this painting. The red ochre en masse. Okay, so red ochre. Red ochre. Right? And red brown. You can have a yellow ochre or you can have a red ochre. It just depends on how they fire it, I think. And then violet. Okay, by the way, the violet is relating a little bit to the cobalt. That's not a cobalt blue. It's like a purline blue. So at any rate, it's relating. It's analogous to this violet. And red and green, aren't they a complement? Yes, they are. So block of red, block of green. This is violet. The violet is I wish that thing went. Violet is massed together. And I'm going to use this eraser to establish that mass. Okay, so that's massed together. Violet is massed together. See? Those two are touching. Okay, now go back to my highlight. Okay, so what you have is masses of color, including this big neutral. Oh gosh, just love this painting. Just love it. Now the chair has rather an organic shape to it, doesn't it? Just like she's an organic shape. The chair, which is not organic, nonetheless has a curved shape. So there you are, massing of colors. I want to buy that painting. I wonder who owns it. Is this helping? Use of color? I guess that what I really need to do is get hot and tell you the use of color as form. Form is the concert of the parts. When he masses colors together, All the colors of one type, of one hue, are touching one another. When he does that, he's asserting the power of that color, the importance of that color. Form as the concert of the parts. And he does that with all the colors. You can see the massing of color here. I don't even need to go over it. But let's talk about color. This is yellow and this is yellow, so they're both yellow. This one is representing light. So let's choose a color to highlight with. So, and then he has this gray, white throughout. See how they touch. So gray, white, here, here, and here, touching one another. Gold, 1, 2, 3 is green. Now the brown, wait, let's go to the fourth one, which is violet. And then now he's using this neutral as a fifth color, in my opinion. This brown, kind of a red brown. He's got 1, 2, 3 pieces of red brown. 1, 2, 3. And the interval between them is not quite the same. The size of each is not quite the same. So it's a progress in space. This one, this one, this one. No need for a face. It's a shape statement. Why does Facebook do that? Does anybody, not Facebook, but why does Photoshop open randomly in size? Okay, this is actually a lithograph and the use of division of light. So he has a strong shadow behind her for some reason. So what I notice about this, back to your figure work, is there is a odalisque, which means a curvy line, statement to this. And that is what? That is gestural. That continues kind of there. That's lovely. Okay, so she's an odalisque, which graphically means curvy. Anthropologically, it means an Arab prostitute. And Delacroix gave us that. So we're following after Delacroix. So here you have these gestural lines, which I think are just fantastic. Matisse allowed himself to paint Arab-style scenery, or because it's Orientalist, and because he has been to North Africa. So he's observed these things. He has it in his mental catalog. So the colors are, if this is a lithograph, I don't know what colors they're using. I mean, it could be ink, or it could be pigment. I mean, I honestly don't know. But they look different, don't they? See the gestural quality. So she is organic. And all of the other things are geometric, and they are overtly geometric. Lines, boxes, this box, okay, this line. I should have drawn that line straight. Okay, so lines and boxes, these are geometry. This is the only thing that is kind of sensual, is this thing, and probably this fruit. So this it's interesting how vases have an organic nature to them. Okay, so this was a linear study. I like that lithograph. Okay, this is cool. I haven't really looked at this one very often. Obvious color work. Now, how do you get rid of that? Okay, black. Okay, and red. And yellow, ochre, and this is kind of in the same family. This is in the family. This is in the family. By the way, there he is in the mirror, huh? Isn't that funny? With his turquoise beard. Some some blue-green here as well. So, and then ultramarine, red as a geometric boundary, red as a negative space. I'm sorry, guys, if I cough, I'm not going to edit it out. I just got to keep moving. And there's some greens. This is all he needs is this weird shape of a hand, and it works for him. He makes it work. And her face has this weird parallax to it, as if she were in a mirror. Forgive me. Sorry about that. So those are the color choices, geometries and organics, and the use of full colors, right? This is a full red. This is almost a full blue. Not quite so with the yellow. Full turquoise. And his black has some gray in it, but it's there's some stoutness to the black, some integrity to it. Okay, so that was Matisse. Color is form. How do I stop this?